Star Trek, TNG understood Commander Riker better after introducing this controversial character. Throughout the 7-season run of Star Trek, The Next Generation, Commander William Riker stood as a bold, bearded enigma, confident yet conflicted, loyal yet independent, ambitious yet strangely hesitant to advance. Though Jonathan Frakes' portrayal gave Riker immediate charisma and weight, the series didn't always know how to fully explore his depths, that is, until Season 2 introduced a controversial character who fundamentally reshaped how fans, and perhaps even the writers, understood him. That character was Commander Riker and Pulaski. Often criticized for replacing the beloved Dr. Beverly Crusher, Pulaski entered the TNG universe with a brash bedside manner and a deeply human-centric worldview. She clashed with the crew, especially Data, and never truly fit in with the Enterprise's otherwise harmonious dynamic. Yet her presence inadvertently held up a mirror to Commander Riker, forcing the show to articulate aspects of his identity that had previously gone unexplored. By examining Riker through the lens of Pulaski's brief but impactful tenure, TNG finally began to unravel the deeper complexities of its first officer. What emerged was a character less defined by his charm and ambition, and more by his underlying values, inner contradictions, and evolving perspective on leadership, loyalty, and identity. Riker before Pulaski, a confident enigma. When TNG premiered, William T. Riker quickly became the archetypal Starfleet first officer, dashing, authoritative, and charming, a clear homage to James T. Kirk. He was physically imposing, emotionally intelligent, and strategically sharp. Yet for all of Riker's screen presence, early episodes often left him feeling underdeveloped. He was likable but flat, a dutiful officer without a clearly defined moral compass beyond Starfleet protocol. In many ways, Riker seemed trapped between archetypes. He was introduced as a man who turned down command offers, but without much explanation why. He had unresolved romantic tension with Counselor Troi, but their relationship remained frustratingly static. He stood in Captain Picard's shadow, supportive yet undefined. It wasn't until someone challenged the Enterprise's moral status quo that Riker's true nature began to emerge. Enter Dr. Pulaski, a philosophical catalyst. Dr. Riker and Pulaski, played by Diana Muldaur, arrived in Season 2's The Child, bringing with her the bluntness and old-school sensibilities of TOS-era Starfleet. Her skepticism toward technology, discomfort with the transporter, and most infamously, her dismissive attitude toward Data made her a divisive figure. She frequently questioned the crew's reliance on logic and systems, especially in situations involving artificial intelligence. This antagonism sparked tension, particularly with Data and, by extension, with the rest of the bridge crew. But for Riker, Pulaski became an unlikely touchstone. She provoked conversations that exposed how much he had grown and how much more he had to grapple with. Pulaski's old guard worldview forced Riker into the role of mediator, revealing how deeply he valued respect for all crew members, regardless of their nature or origin. Data, Pulaski, and Riker's evolving ethics. Nowhere was this dynamic clearer than in the episodes where Pulaski questioned Data's sentience and capabilities. In Elementary, Dear Data, she refers to him as a machine incapable of original thought, a perspective that echoes 20th century prejudices and jars against TNG's ethos. Riker, by contrast, defends Data, showing deference to his abilities and humanity. He doesn't just tolerate Data, he trusts him implicitly. This quiet defense isn't the reaction of a man just following orders or avoiding conflict. It reveals Riker's capacity for ethical nuance. He doesn't engage in philosophical debate like Picard, nor does he lecture Pulaski. Instead, he demonstrates belief through action by giving Data leadership responsibilities, by seeking his counsel in tactical situations, and by treating him with camaraderie. Pulaski, through her indifference, made Riker's moral stance more visible. This contrast helps shape Riker's role as the emotional barometer of the Enterprise. He didn't always need to speak loudly because his actions spoke clearly. In retrospect, Pulaski's presence sharpened this clarity. She was the foil that revealed the beating heart beneath Riker's stoic professionalism. The command question revisited. Another major theme Pulaski indirectly influenced was Riker's strange refusal to accept command promotions, a recurring mystery the show initially left underexplored. In Season 1's The Arsenal of Freedom, and more overtly in Season 3's The Best of Both Worlds, Riker's hesitance to leave the Enterprise is questioned by both superiors and subordinates. While Pulaski never directly comments on this, her outsider perspective, her clear view of who the crew were, uncolored by long-term loyalty, reframed how viewers saw Riker's decisions. She didn't share the crew's reverence for Picard, or their automatic trust in one another. That detachment highlighted how Riker chose to stay, not out of fear or inertia, but from a deep loyalty to his captain and ship. Pulaski's bluntness threw Riker's emotional intelligence into sharp relief. While she often bulldozed through interactions with logic and superiority, Riker operated with empathy and diplomacy. He brokered relationships, tempered egos, and found compromise, qualities that made him indispensable, even if they kept him in the shadows of command. Pulaski and Riker, a mirror of values. Though Pulaski rarely shared scenes of intimacy or direct conflict with Riker, her ideology stood in constant counterpoint to his. Pulaski distrusted artificial life. Riker embraced it. Pulaski embodied the past. Riker adapted to the future. Where she saw Starfleet as a hierarchy to enforce standards, Riker saw it as a vessel for collaboration and growth. In a way, Pulaski's resistance to change made Riker's progressive instincts stand out more. His subtle mentorship of junior officers like Worf, his encouragement of creativity in crisis situations, and his ease with alien cultures all showed a man not only comfortable with change but invigorated by it. Even Pulaski's famous transporter phobia, a small character quirk, served to spotlight Riker's adaptability. He was a man rooted in tradition, but not bound by it. He believed in Starfleet's values, but wasn't afraid to question them when needed. By juxtaposing him with someone rooted in the past, the show revealed how forward-looking Riker truly was. The quiet fallout, Pulaski's exit and Riker's continued evolution. Dr. Pulaski's tenure was short-lived. She exited after Season 2, with Dr. Crusher returning in Season 3. But the effects of her presence lingered. After Pulaski, Riker's characterization noticeably deepened. He became more reflective, more assertive, and more confident in challenging both Starfleet orders and Picard himself when necessary. In The Best of Both Worlds, Riker finally confronts the meaning of command, stepping into the captain's chair under the worst possible circumstances. The growth he exhibits in those episodes, balancing fear, responsibility, and courage, can be traced back to the subtler groundwork laid during Pulaski's season. The character who once smiled his way through staff meetings had become a decisive, emotionally complex leader. He still cracked jokes and flirted with aliens, sure. But now his loyalty was a conscious choice, not a narrative convenience. His reluctance to leave the Enterprise felt like a man who valued people over power, not one who feared change. Why Pulaski still matters to Riker's legacy. Despite the fandom's mixed reception, Catherine Pulaski played a crucial role in the maturation of TNG's ensemble, especially Commander Riker. Her skepticism, her rough edges, and her philosophical challenges acted as a narrative accelerant. She made Riker,